everybody, I'm back for part 2 of redesigning the cast of High Guardian Spice. I just have a bit more to say about the show before we get started. Number 1, after going back and rewatching, yes, rewatching the show again, I've noticed a lot of world building issues. Like, for one, we're never really told what a guardian is, which is fine. There have been characters with vague goals before, and that was only because that wasn't their true goal. But with how the school system is set up, you think we would know what they're really training for, but we never really find out at all. All I could really gather was that Rosemary's mother works for someone higher up, which brings me to my next point. Where is the hierarchy of this world? Where are the nobles and royals and counselors? Like the city they're in is supposed to be very elite since the school only brings in the best kids, but so far there's no mention of a ruler or authority because, believe it or not, if we're in a medieval fantasy, odds are there's gonna be a king somewhere, right? Because, I mean, what else would they be training for? If not to get jobs with higher-ups, because, I mean, if they're training to just be adventurers, then they don't really need school. Like for example, Adventures of Finn and Jake, DuckTales, Steven Universe, and many more adventure-type shows don't really have the show's characters going to school. It shows them actually going on the adventure and learning from the experience. I mean, you don't need to go to school to know what your values are. So the whole ethics class is a little weird. I mean, warrior types and mage types technically wouldn't need to go to school. I mean, technically, a warrior type would enter into a knight service for the king or a noble, and mages usually do internships in fantasy settings. Unlike Harry Potter, which does have a school system for witches and wizards, but they didn't really teach the kids to master their powers for greatness or go on magical quests. They kind of did it just to get the kids jobs. Like, at least with My Hero Academia, you get a full understanding of how the hero system works and why they're being taught things about it that apply to what they want to do. But for High Guardian Spice, it's basically a public school with no funding, so everyone's just looking at each other like, okay, what do we do now? But anyway, last point before we move on. Did anyone else find it weird that there were hardly any other fantasy species in this world? Like, there were way more human characters than I thought there'd be. Again, if they're referencing D&D, we should be seeing all kinds of species. I mean, there are over 40 types of D&D species, and all I saw was a bunch of elves and dwarves and one giant and 2 centaurs. Like, if it was too hard to incorporate them, then maybe saying something like new magic is affecting the other races and is thinning them out. I mean, that's what Hellboy 2 Golden Army did, and that made sense to me, but hey, maybe I'm just overthinking everything like I do. But anyway, let's get on to the designs. Okay, Amaryllis is a unique character, sure. She isn't exactly the best, but she is technically the most fun to listen to and watch do stuff randomly. Like, yeah, her character is all over the place with how fast she kind of befriends the other girls, but you can tell the voice actor is having fun, which I always enjoy. Plus, she has, like, mega orc energy, and I love that. However, her design is, well, it's very, how do I say this? She looks like a knockoff Yu-Gi-Oh character. I said it, I'm sorry. I mean, her hair is just crazy. Look at her bangs. My god, her bangs. That's not how V-bangs work. Trust me, I've had them. They're a pain. There's no breaks in her hair, so it looks like a helmet. Like, 100% yellow diamond right here. So to fix her weird style, I relaxed her hair and gave her the V-bangs she deserved, along with a middle ponytail so she can show off her face more, and her makeup. Yes, I did give her makeup. It was more of a style choice and less of like what her personality, though I feel like her personality would be the type to wear makeup to, you know, at least have an upper hand over the other girls in her class. Also, as you can see, I stuck with the purple theme of Amaryllis' hair, since one, we don't really see her battle outfit very often, and when we do see it, it's clearly just a Little Witch Academia outfit in pink, which doesn't work for her personality at all. So I gave her a more updated mage look, something that's very new and now, to hint more into her, you know, modern aesthetic for new magic. Plus with accents of gold to really drive home that she's from a rich family, since she pretty much confirms it in the Halloween episode. Also, I kind of found it funny that her hair is purple when the flower she's named after is red, so I imagine her family, like snapdragons, is full of redheads, only for Amaryllis to come out purple-headed and basically making her the black sheep of her family, which would give her more of a reason to be a bully. I also changed her ethnicity to Asian descent since there really aren't that many people of color characters, which kind of sucks. I mean, the show's creators kept saying how diverse they and the cast was, but when the main cast has 3 out of the 4 that could pass as an average white person, it kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I mean, I'm all for inclusion of someone's sexual orientation. Satan knows I've been dying for an asexual character in an animation with more of a main character role, but sexual orientation shouldn't be the only diversity you put in your show. Race is also important. Heck, I'd kill for a show to include a handicapped person. I've barely ever seen a Western animated handicapped character. But anyway, I'm rambling, sorry. A lot of Amaryllis' design was mostly thought up by my roommate, who started playing League of Legends with me again, and felt that since Amaryllis is a new magic user, her family probably has businesses tied to new magic. So Amaryllis would be so advanced using it she wouldn't even know what old magic was or looked like, which again gives her more of a reason to not like Sage. I mean, when designing Amaryllis, I really wanted Sage and Amaryllis to be as opposite as possible in both color and tone of their outfits. And I think it really works. Amaryllis has a really fun, like, out-of-the-box gothic mage style, something her family probably wouldn't approve of, but it's still high-end enough that, you know, she wouldn't be considered like a poor rogue or something. Anyway, on to the next one. On to Snapdragon. Oh, poor, sad Snapdragon. Okay, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. Me, my roommate, and my roommate's boyfriend all agree Snapdragon is the best character by far. We were all kind of disappointed with how his story arc came to be. We don't hate the Snapdragon as possibly transgender storyline. Hi, Editor Brittany here. I know the voice actor confirmed that Snapdragon is transgender, but I feel like the reason Snapdragon's story was all over the place like it was because she self-inserted herself into the character, which I think is where a lot of the problems with Snapdragon's character arc comes from. But I'll get into it more. Editor Brittany out. Let's get back. We just didn't see it going that way at all. For me, I saw it going in the direction that Snap was just a guy who liked girly things, same way I'm a girl who likes manly things. My roommate viewed Snap's story as a non-binary storyline, since Snapdragon seemed to be very gender fluid in some of the things Snapdragon said and did. My roommate's boyfriend saw Snapdragon as having an identity crisis, since he wasn't living up to everyone's views of him as a man, like having his father's axe taken away, saying it wasn't suited for him. Like, you could still teach him how to use it. You don't have to tell Snapdragon that this weapon isn't suited for you because it's clearly meant for, like, a strong man. Or being told having a female friend was weird and that the bond he has with Amaryllis means nothing since he's a boy. Pretty much anytime Snapdragon tries to do something, there's always someone behind him telling him he's not a man and he's a woman. And then when he tells the professor his problems, Caraway is so fast to tell Snapdragon about transformation magic, cause now, Snapdragon, who has it in his head that everyone keeps saying, I'm a girl, I might as well become one. Now he's just gonna jump on this idea because he's so desperate for any kind of solution to fixing his problems, which isn't healthy. Like, finding your identity will not fix all your underlying issues. Trust me. It's not an easy fix, because I've been in Snapdragon's shoes. I've been told my whole life I'd have made a great boy, or I look so much like a boy it's crazy, or you'd be the perfect boyfriend, or when you wear makeup you look like you're transitioning from a man to a girl. That one really stung. And it really messed with me. So much so, I really did think I would be happier as a boy, and that my family would have been happier if I was born one, since I'm the first and last grandkid. And it took a really long time for me to like being a girl, and that even though I'm very masculine presenting, I'm still a girl, and that's just what I've always wanted to be recognized as, you know? It's taken a really long time to get to the point where I am, and I'm happy to be who I am. So yeah, Snapdragon resonated with me a lot and seems to have resonated with a lot of other people as well. So I won't say it would be better if Snapdragon was this or that, because we can headcanon Snapdragon any way that fits for us. So for me, I've headcanon Snapdragon as non-binary / gender fluid, and kept Snapdragon's body type pretty much the same because, I mean, look at them! Snapdragon is gender fluid envy! The only thing I really changed was that god-awful battle outfit. I mean, look! I mean, technically, they gave him 2 outfits, but they're still super boring and basic. Also, it's pretty clear Snapdragon is from a high-rank family. Otherwise, he wouldn't be friends with Amaryllis, so it's best to assume Snapdragon is also rich. So, they should be wearing much nicer clothes. Plus, with the weapon type that they use, it would make more sense to dress the part. I mean, a rapier, it's very good at what it does, which is thrusting. But not much else. The rapier, like most weapons in general, was designed to fulfill a very specific role, in this case to pierce through thick clothing and the gaps between armor. You could cut with it, but not very well. So it isn't something you'd bring into a battle, so what's the point of dressing for one? Plus, this gives the illusion that there's other types of royal and noble fashion trends across the waters. I've kind of been headcanon that Snapdragon is from somewhere else, but anyway, as for color, I really did struggle since the old outfit was basic blues and browns, and since no characters shared any color themes with their name, except maybe time, I thought, why not really just go for the pinks and yellows of a Snapdragon flower? Have the character embrace the name fully and incorporate it into their outfit, like a Snapdragon crest and a sword hilt theme to the colors. You know, really show that Snapdragon is a fierce but very pretty flower. I also used a lot of French-styled military and musketeer references for Snapdragon's outfit, so I hope it shows well. Okay, completely off topic here, but did anyone else notice that Snapdragon is the only character with white irises? Like, the first time I watched the show, I didn't even notice it in the beginning until we finally started getting close-up shots of Snapdragon, but now that I've gone back and rewatched and taken screenshots of everything, I'm like, Snapdragon is literally the only one with white irises. Like, did they forget to color them in, or is this a style choice? Because I mean, it's really confusing to look at, especially when, like, everybody else is pretty coherent in style, and then Snapdragon is the only one with, like, this one weird thing happening, and it kind of did influence the headcanon that Snapdragon is either not human or again is from like another land or something, because we have the flashback scene and both his brother and dad have white irises, so it makes me think like it's a family thing, but it's weird because we don't even notice it until like the end of the season. So the fact that nobody's brought it up or said anything to Snapdragon makes me super curious about like where, if there is a theory or a storyline, where was it going? Because now I need to know. Why does the Snapdragon's family have white irises? Why is that a thing? Like, because now I'm so confused, because is Snapdragon a different race than everybody? Like a new type of human or something? Because it's just something that's been bugging me like crazy, because I keep going back and looking at my notes and, you know, all my screenshots, and I'm like, why? Why are your eyes like that? Like, it looks cool, but it's freaking me out because I don't know why. This is such a weird little detail that, like, becomes so noticeable when you're really paying attention, and then you just sit there and you're like, why? 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 Sorry, I know it's off topic. It's just, I can't get it out of my head, and now I've put it all in your head, so good luck with that. Anyway, that was super long. On to the last character, aka my OC. Okay, I can hear you all laughing. Brittany, you made a High Guardian Spice OC? And the answer to that is kinda. Because this is actually my first D&D character, originally named Finch, who was a wolf-kind species. I never really classified him as a werewolf because I wanted a talking wolf, so yeah. But drawing all these redesigns made me think of him again and got me in the mood to workshop him a bit and finally flesh him out more. So I changed his species to a shifter, aka a were-touched. However, this species cannot transform wholly into an animal, but can instead shift parts of their body to become animal-like for short periods of time, hence the ears, which are permanent now, due to also being a werewolf. Yeah, cliche I know, but this race is descendants from werebeasts, and they technically live closest to them. Plus, the likelihood of a werewolf attacking them is pretty high, but it also gives him more of a disadvantage and includes a handicapped person, since he's mostly blind and is partially paralyzed in that spot of his face where the scar is. I also made him a paladin, since they're the best to roleplay as and have more options, and have a bit more options in terms of gameplay. As for his outfit, I went with a more basic style of someone trying to hide themselves in their clothes, but also show their history of where they came from, hence the furry belt. Honestly, I have no memory of how I came up with the outfit in the beginning when I first designed him, so I kind of just downgraded it to fit him better in this new form. I do have to replay him a bit to really get a good backstory going, but it's nice to redesign my old buddy again, even if he's 20 years younger and not a 9-foot-tall wolf man. Also, side note, this has nothing to do with the design, but I did start to ship him with Snapdragon, because I mean, why not have a nervous and self-conscious paladin crush on an aristocratic warrior who's also self-conscious? Plus, apparently I have a thing for pot characters dating redheads, which my roommate pointed out to me, and I didn't realize I did that. Probably explains why all my exes were redheads. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Also, I've seen people in my previous video comment about accurate time periods, and I just have to say one thing. This is a fantasy show, not a documentary on the medieval era. I'm not going to 100% accurately represent the time period. I will borrow ideas and incorporate fun stuff into the design. I only use medieval and time period as a way for the audience to understand what point in time the characters are living in, and how they need to look more like they belong in that time period. Because if I did 100% accuracy, there'd be no fantasy. I mean, what's the point of watching an animated show that has 100% accuracy like that? It would be extremely boring. I hope you really like this video, and maybe in the future I'll do a part 3 of Slime Boy, the Professor, and Rosemary's Mom, but, we'll see. Also, I completely forgot to mention, it just hit me just now, the creator of High Guardian Spice liked and retweeted my redesigns. And not only that, the voice actor that plays Parsley also liked and retweeted my redesigns. And I had no idea that had happened. I was at my friend's house, and I got home, and I went on Twitter, and I was like, alright, let's see what's up with everything today. And I saw it, and I was like, everything hurts. Oh, I don't know how to feel about this. One part of me is like, oh wow, thanks. But another part of me is like, crap. They're gonna... And I'm like, I don't want to get in trouble, even though technically I would never really get in trouble for making the video. But still, it just really, it puts my mind in this, mental prison of, you gotta do something, don't let them see, hide everything. It's just so weird, but, my friend was like, you should be proud, that's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, but is it? I mean, it's cool, but I don't know. So, mentally freaking out, everybody. Don't mind me. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!